Welcome to Living Unshackled on Purpose. You are in for an anointed episode, and you will gain a 360 perspective on domestic violence. You will have insight, inspiration, and you will be truly blessed. Come join us. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Living Unshackled on Purpose. I am your TV show host, Jennifer Foxworthy. I am so glad that you could join us today. I have another phenomenal story for you. Don't go anywhere. Kelly Cowan, Felicia Martin, they're going to share their story of what it's like as family members to lose someone tragically to domestic violence. And I feel extremely blessed to have them on the show to provide that perspective. It's necessary. So many times when we talk about domestic violence, we're hearing the victim story, the survivor story, the thriver story. But we need to hear the family member story of what it's like when you no longer have that person here with you and you lose them so tragically to domestic violence. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much to agreeing to being on the show and sharing your story. I know it's not easy. You are pillars in the community. You have so much going on in memorial of your sister and your daughter. And I want you ladies to share a little bit about yourself and how you've gotten to this point. So Felicia, you lost your sister tragically.
Yes.
Sheena to domestic violence. And Kelly, you lost your daughter tragically to domestic violence. Melissa.
Yeah.
So ladies, please tell your story. Let our viewers get a glimpse of how did it unfold for each of you. I mean, you know, Felicia, share your story, but how had your sister been in it for a while? What happened?
Well, Sheena was one of my baby sisters. We'd never experienced or had any knowledge of domestic violence growing up.
Okay.
We came from a very strong family, a very strong background. So domestic violence for Sheena was very hidden. We really didn't know a lot about it until, I guess, towards the end,
Okay.
when she felt like she really didn't have anywhere else to turn.
Mm-hmm.
She started to not directly share the information with us, but indirectly.
Okay.
She used to say things, and I remember the last conversation that I had with her, she used to say things like, "I'm tired. I'm just really tired." Needless to me, I didn't know what tired meant. Just hearing some more information from my baby sister, which those two were 2 years apart, and she started giving me a little bit more details on what was actually going on.
Okay.
Like I said, it was more towards the end. It was really hidden. So on May 26th of 2009, we were trying to reach her.
Okay.
We were actually trying to reach her on the phone. Well, I was trying to reach her on the phone. And she wouldn't answer. Call after call after call, she wouldn't answer. Then my younger sister called me and said, "Hey, she was supposed to come over. We were supposed to go out to eat today. She didn't answer." So I said, "Well, you know what? You just go and check on her tomorrow morning. Just go tomorrow morning and check on her," because my younger sister, she said she didn't feel good that day. She was going to the hospital. She didn't feel that good that day. So, okay, we left that day alone.
Okay.
7:30 a.m. the next morning, I'm on my way to work, and we're on the phone. And she goes, "Well, I'm going to head down there now." So I was on the phone with her the whole entire time, the drive there. When she initially walked up to the door and knocked, to the point where she decided she had to jump into the window because she needed to know what was going on inside. We heard music playing, the doors were locked, but there was no one in sight, but there was an odor coming from the house.
Lord have mercy.
So she decided to jump through the window. I asked her not to, but she said that she felt that she needed to. So she went inside and we walked through on the phone. We had the conversation and she found her there. On the floor, behind the bed. She was wrapped in a pink blanket. You couldn't see anything but her foot. And once she told me that I see her foot, I just told her just to turn around and get out of the house because she was gone. And I was in such disbelief. It's been almost 6 years, but I'm still in disbelief. This is actually, haven't really talked about it a lot. I suppressed it a whole lot. So this is actually my first platform of really getting to share my story. But for me, there's like a darkness. There's an emptiness that I just can't fill. I attend domestic abuse forums. I go to high schools and I share my sister's story just to help me to, it's like a healing for me.
Absolutely.
So the more I talk about it and share my story in hopes to help someone else, it starts to help to heal that fill that hole and that emptiness. But it's not easy.
No,
it's
I
not
can't
easy.
Imagine.
For me, Sheena was the way my mom raised us. Me and my older sister, we were more we had to take care of the smaller ones. You know, back in the day, you know, you take care of the smaller ones, you look after them, you're more like the mother figure. And for me, I remember taking her to her first day to kindergarten, doing her hair, getting her dressed, taking her to the park after school. So for me, it's still I'm in disbelief. I still can't believe that she's gone. Because she lived in Atlanta and I lived in Pennsylvania. And 2 months before she died, she was coming to live in Pennsylvania with me. I've been trying to get her to Pennsylvania for a very long time. And she would not come because she loved the Atlanta life. And one day she called me and she said, I'm ready to come now. She said, I'm ready to come. And I was just like, well, I'll be there tomorrow.
All right.
We're coming to get you. And we went, me and a friend of mine drove down. We went and got her, brought her back. But she had to go back because she had some unfinished business. We had 3 of her kids here with us.
Okay.
She had 5 children. And she left 2 there. She was going through some problems with the system, so she left 2 of them there. She had to go back to get them.
Wow.
And she was supposed to bring them back.
Okay.
And she had battled the court system, and she actually was a week away from getting them back into her own custody to bring them back to Pennsylvania. So there was just so much going on. There were so many different turns. I just can't, it's just hard for me to fathom that she's gone.
What type of spirit does Sheena have? What type of person is she?
She, just taking a look at her photo, her smile. She had a smile that would light up a room. It can be the darkest room. Her smile, that's one of the things I will always remember about her.
Glory, glory.
Her smile, she was very, very intelligent. It used to always be funny. My mom used to talk about all my mom's girls. My mom had 6 girls, and all 5 of us could do hair. She was the only one that couldn't do hair, but she could count numbers. She was the book smart person, really book smart person.
There has to be one in the family,
and she was that one. She was just beautiful. She was just loving. She's caring. She was very outgoing, very family oriented.
Okay.
I just don't know what happened.
Was she married to her abuser? Was it a boyfriend?
No, she was not married to her abuser. Actually, she had only known him for probably about 6 months before she was murdered. So she didn't know him very long at all.
Did you sense that she was being isolated from you, or that her demeanor was changing outside of her saying, I'm tired?
Not at all. Not at all. We didn't recognize any isolation. there was maybe a few red flags because, like I said, she went to Atlanta to get some things together, and her abuser was more, don't worry about doing things for the kids. Let's go to the club. Let's go shopping. Let's do. So it was just, a distraction for her. Someone to distract her. And I remember my mom and myself having a conversation with her, and I said, well, he's no good for you. I said, any man that really loves you and has your best interest, he will help you along your way.
Absolutely.
He would not try to distract you from what you came to do.
Amen.
And she somewhat listened, I guess. Not too many comments after that. But shortly after that, I'm assuming that's when all the domestic violence started really unraveling. The higher she started to reach her goals, the closer to her goals she reached. That's when the most domestic violence started unraveling.
The abuser wants to, feels like the control is slipping from their grasp, because they don't want the victim to be independent. They want them to be dependent on them financially, emotionally, mentally, everything. And so many times, victims, we feel guilt and shame of how did we get ourselves into this situation where we just stay silent. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. I used to feel alone and ashamed, stuck in an abusive nightmare. Are you experiencing sexual abuse? What about, are you living a nightmare of domestic violence? Well, this is the platform for you. Tune in the second Friday of every month at 11 a.m. Living Unshackled on Purpose. Welcome back to Living Unshackled on Purpose. I am Jennifer Foxworthy, your host, and today we are discussing domestic violence from a family's perspective when you lose someone so tragically, so horribly, unexpectedly. Felicia was sharing her story about her sister Sheena and her tragic death. Now I would like, Kelly, you tell us about your daughter Melissa and how everything transpired.
Well, Melissa was a very intelligent, full of high energy, love kids, beautiful, outgoing young lady. At the time that she met Carrington, she was very vulnerable.
Okay.
Because obviously a situation happened with her and her children that she needed out of the relationship that she was in, and he came at the right time with the right story. And so he swept her off her feet, of course. Okay. And they got married really, really fast. In less than probably a week.
Oh my.
They was married.
Okay.
And in the beginning, I didn't approve of it when I did find out, but I thought she was happy. I thought she was in control of the marriage. Okay. Everything looks good from the outside, and so we was happy for her. Okay. Until we start seeing the red flags, which is the isolating and the controlling and the manipulating, and when he met Melissa, she was in like her final year of doing her RN with her bachelor's degree. Okay. He thought that was not a good idea at the time. The better thing to do was to give him babies. So of course they did that, and then it escalated from there. Your family's coming to the house too often. You shouldn't hang out with your sister as much as you can. You spoiling the children, things like that. He was really in control, and he did it slowly but surely.
Yes, gradually.
Eventually, when Melissa realized that it was overbearing and too much, and he took Christmas away from his children, he took birthdays away from the children, he took their pet and threw it in the bushes. So when she realized that something is not right, this is not me, this is not who I am, she wanted out. And that's when she called me. She called me, I think it's that Wednesday, and told me that she wanted out, she was done, she couldn't do it no more, and we agreed that weekend, that Saturday, She was gonna come to New York. I was gonna, because I lived in New York at the time. We was gonna go back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and get rid of him because that was her house.
Okay.
But it didn't even make it to that Saturday, because Friday morning at 9 o'clock I got a phone call that he stabbed her. And then by the time I was halfway to Pennsylvania, she was already dead. He stabbed her 124 times.
Lord, my God, my God. How long has she been dealing with the abuse up until that point?
That's the thing. The abuse was mental and emotional. It was never physical.
Oh wow.
So in her mind, when the controlling started and everything else, she thought it was okay. Well, he's giving me all his money. He's doing this. He's doing that. So this is normal. This was a new norm for her, and she'd enjoyed it because he gave her the attention that she craved, that she wasn't getting from her past relationship. So to her, it was good.
Understood. Understood. What was it like for you when? What went through your mind when you got that phone call?
Well, first of all, Melissa was my favorite kid.
Okay.
And everybody knows it. So when I heard that my daughter was hurt, it was like, it was unreal. I could not believe it. I was in shock.
Yes.
But they was telling me that she was okay. I needed to come to Lancaster because they knew I had to drive from New York to Lancaster. So they didn't want me to know that she was already dead. So they was telling me that I had to come there because she was asking for me. She needed to talk to me. She needed me there. And that sounds normal because that's who Melissa is. She always needs her mom through everything she do. Her mom have to be in her life. So, of course, I had a friend of mine drive my truck. We all got in a car. We was driving down to Lancaster. And unfortunately, I had to find out from Facebook that my daughter was dead.
Oh no.
Because there goes my condolences and everything else on Facebook.
Already.
I didn't even get to hear from the doctors or my children, or I heard it from Facebook. So that was devastating in itself. It was the worst day of my life.
You experienced what no mother or no parent ever wants to go through. It's bad enough to lose a sibling, but a child that you helped bring into this world, that God entrusted, you to birth into this world. I just think about my own 4-year-old son, Noah. And I don't know what I would do if I lost him. And life happens. Car accidents, criminal activity, just something, wrong place, wrong time. But to know that your child experienced such pain, 124 times being stabbed, repeat the anger when a abuser just snaps. And was there any type of police documentation trail or anything, that she had tried to get help prior to?
She didn't need to get help because she didn't think that she was not scared of him.
Okay.
He was, when she met him, he was in New York, a 7th grade school teacher. He was a perfect man. He went to work every day. He was a family-oriented man. He was not a gangster. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He was a Christian. He went to church, read the Bible. So there was no reason to fear him.
Understood.
So when she told him he had to leave, she didn't expect him to stop her to leave.
That makes sense. She knew that the control, the emotional and the mental of what she was dealing with was not right, but she didn't believe that he would harm her physically, that he would go peacefully or...
Nobody believed it. We didn't believe it. The children, my children, me, my parents, nobody believed that he would do something. I mean, you cannot underestimate anybody, because when you look at this man, you see a picture of him, he looks so peaceful, and he looks like a outstanding, average, middle-class American. He do not look like a man that is capable of doing anything so brutal and cruel and wicked.
Kelly, you bring up such a good point. I know for me growing up, I had a misconceived notion that domestic violence was for the victims were poor, weak, minority women.
Exactly.
And when I went through my abuse, I was in the United States Navy serving my country proudly. And it was service member on service member abuse that I experienced. So I have learned that the stereotypes of domestic violence, they are just that. They're stereotypes. And your abuser, they're not always the low pants sagging gangster, profile that movies or what have you want to portray. They're your doctors, your lawyers.
Exactly. Your seventh grade school teachers.
Your seventh grade school teachers. Your football coaches. They have regular jobs. On the outside, they look fine. They look peaceful. And that's what I want everyone to understand. We all portray something on the outside that we want everybody to accept. But when the doors are closed and behind these clothes, the three-piece tailor-made suits or what have you, there's a darkness and sinisterness that's going on.
Absolutely, they had to be, because for him to stab her like that, and especially in front of his 4-month-old twin babies, and my 18-year-old at the time daughter, something was going on that was dark and evil that nobody understood at the time.
Now, Kelly and Felicia, you have been through so much. Your family has been through so much. But I'm so inspired that you are trying to pick up the pieces. You're speaking up about your family member's situation, their ordeal, and you're memorializing their life. Can you explain to our viewers what it is that you're doing? How are you keeping their legacy alive?
That part puts a smile on my face.
Amen.
Think about keeping their legacy alive. What Kelly and I have done, first off, I've never met this woman a day in my life until about 8-9 months ago.
Wow.
We'd never met. She actually contacted me through someone that knew me by doing a few of domestic violence events in the community after my sister passed. And we met one day. She told me her vision and her dream, what she wanted to do to keep her daughter's legacy alive. And we decided to work together on the journey. Since then, we've held our very first annual Melissa's Walk for Life, which took place in Lancaster City on May 3rd of this year. And it's the first annual, and we plan to do it every single year.
Praise God. Praise God.
Our goal, our vision, our dream, our mission is to hold it in different cities and different states.
Amen.
We want
Purpose.
everyone to know about domestic violence, how it affected us, how it affected our families, and to keep their legacy alive.
That's right.
Not just for us, but for their children as well. It's definitely an educational process. With that, the Melissa's Walk for Life came a foundation. I'll let Kelly share the information about the foundation. It's a wonderful, I'm super excited about the foundation. It's definitely one of its kind. I've never heard any other one that matches it so far. So I'm super excited about the foundation that's coming forth. So I'll let Kelly share some information.
Beautiful.
Okay, so when Melissa was murdered, I was sad. I was hurt. I was angry. But also I knew I had to do something to keep her legacy alive. I was not going to let her just wither away in the darkness.
Absolutely.
So I needed to do something to keep her memory. But at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do. But when the police came and took the babies from the house, 3 girls was in school. The 2 babies, they was covered in blood. They didn't know who was the boy, who was the girl. They shut the house down. Nobody could go in, nobody could go out. kids had no clothes, no milk, no formula, no diapers, nothing. And the way the community came together for us as a whole to help with diapers, with clothes, with money, even a van, everything that they did for these children was phenomenal for me, in my opinion. And so I found my calling. I knew that I wanted to give back, and that's where I got the idea of Purple Wishes, and that's when I wanted to do something for children that lost their parents to domestic violence, whether it's a mom or dad. As long as you lose one or both parents to domestic violence, you will be able to apply with Purple Wishes, and we would be able to grant wishes for the children, whether it be food, whether it be a trip, clothes, bikes, anything to make them happy, to put a smile on their face, because that's what happened when we had Christmas in November for the children, and made it so special because they said that they need a Christmas a month before everybody else because they were so special. And that's the first time I saw Melissa children with a smile on their faces. So I want to do that for other children that lost their parents to domestic violence, and this is where the whole idea of Purple Wishes.
I love it. I love it.
So this is what we are doing.
I love it, folks. Purple Wishes. Look out for that. Melissa's Walk. Look out for that as well. Kelly, Felicia, how real quick, tell everyone how they can reach you or help, sponsor, donate.
Right now we are on Facebook. You can check under Melissa Cohen's Walk for Life. If you want any information, you can go on the Facebook page. You'll find a lot of direct information to reach Kelly or myself. And we are still putting things together right now for the foundation, but we're very close. But for right now, Facebook is everything for us right now. You can reach us directly. Our phone numbers are there. A little bit more background information about us is there. You can go and check out pictures of the walk, the last walk that we had. So right now, Facebook is our active correspondent with the public.
Outstanding. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing your emotional story dealing with your loved ones. I know it wasn't easy, and I applaud your courage. And God is so faithful, so amazing how He has allowed your paths to cross to strengthen each other, to pull each other through in such hard times. I know you have the good days and the bad days. Thank you for sharing it with the Living Unshackled viewers. And I just continue to pray for the strength and the courage to keep their legacies alive, Sheena and Melissa, and to help those who have lost loved ones. Thank you so much for watching Living Unshackled on Purpose. Please tune in WGCB TV 49, Dish Network 9022, DirecTV Channel 49, Comcast Cable Channel 49, or 7 or 18, Armstrong Channel 12, KUHN Communications, or if you can't get those TV channels, if you can't set your DVR, plug into the internet, www.gospel4unetwork.com, or my website, www.inspirationallyspeaking.com. Thank you for joining us. This is another powerful episode. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Living Unshackled on Purpose. I hope that it has blessed you. Tune in next time, same channel. God bless you and enjoy your day. Live